Rade ya go for. San kwasiafo ya so garage o. Ade no mo kan no kwasiafo no mjere jiro mo tiase o. Galamse agye o masase afo kwasiafo no poison. Oba fa car. Kwasia bia mo ticket ama fa OA bus. Abankan. Just ye mu aise nkofo mo ye moa. San kwasiafo we. Omo eden obi ama musika mo fa OA bus. Atambrofo ato omo kon ho. Omo twabrofo ahemu e de ahye omo tuom e de aba se omo de be kire ye. Kwasiafo asema wo ka no enkwasiafo no mugire gire omo ntiase ye. Uhwe omo nima enkwofo no mugire gire the aquatic ka hono omo nti komo.
On that day, the Honorable debate within the confines of Article 115 of the 1992 Constitution, such privilege carries with a duty to ensure that parliamentary discourse is grounded in factual accuracy and historical integrity. Moreover, Article 116 of the Constitution provides for inquiry into any statement that upon prima facie examination warrants corrective.
Sagwasefoi inkwasi asabo gwa. Omo toto gala omo num galamse nsuo. Omo te galamse mu. Sagwasefoi ya ne ku JB Danquah edu. JB Danquah edu. Onusu fro bukromo inform ho. We momo Jimmy. They are naturally born stupid. Ose Kevin Diatem. She. We mono. They came to Accra to defend a political Judas. Hey, now would you say Jimmy your time on? Would you say ye Jimmy and a mo bank crying? Galamse a minimum monemo hin in team na moya galamse na modi galamse netie dware. Galamse netie na modi dware. And emrantie kasatia moa mo kro no amobo amosie betu o made so. And obi kasatia mo kro ni mo a na so yo hene a na mo tata na ye betu ade so. The same thing some assemblyman bi obey o hene o matata na sa ade a abrantie ne ka no kra kire mo owo achem ho owo ebu akwa ade ntia abrantie ne se de mo ye ne nye omo nyina pese obuku no. And why the greatest enemy omo peneku no. On hene say betu ade so ade ntia wo be ka no kra kire mo na mudi mu Jimmy afọ baasa bankran kame bankam je somaka se JB Danquah edu so ewu ye pese ewu nipa okun no ntwaboa mo Jimmy mo ba be dem mo pe questions mo pe answers about political Judas JB Danquah. We will give you the answers today. When your emotional thing, it's not tribalistic or anything. We are telling you what the facts say. And this is John Mahama state in his speech, during the independence celebration, or say declassified documents. It say JB Danquah is a traitor. John Mahama a declassified document, no. It was omoni JB Danquah ye jumana ya America for omoni declassified document, and the who say JB Danquah is a political Judas. So this political Judas, and the mafaka bankran say mope answers. A political Judas who was behind the Jesus of Ghana politics, Kwame Nkrumah, tried to kill Jesus Christ, Kwame Nkrumah. He ended up like a madman in Petenary in Nam. Weja. Weja. Menja. Now, some answers no more pen. Almost say, NDC MP, I friend Mutala Muhammad. I can't send you a parliamentar or moment tiasie. Now, Assembly na Mutala Muhammad Ekaye Mumiankotie. Did you get me the video? All right.
Espouse your points, and I espouse my points. Leave that to the judgment of the people of this country. I am quoting Martin Meredith's book of the State of Africa. He described JB Danquah as one of CIA agents who was paid to betray his country. These are not my words. These are not my words. Mr. Speaker, I have a copy. I have a copy of that book in my office.
No way. Are you also a Russian?
He played no role in the building of a Kosovo dam. Don't attribute something to him. And Mr. Speaker, he also said that JB Danquah died a horrible death. And the Buzia. As a matter of fact, the NLC constituted a committee to investigate the circumstance under which J.B. Danquah died.
Honorable member, conclude.
He died in natural death.
Honorable member, conclude.
Speaker.
Honorable member,
to die. Member of Parliament.
Honorable member,
Who voted
honorable member,
the motion? Who did vote?
honorable member,
Motion. Who did that? He's
honorable member.
Who did that madness? Who did that madness?
Honorable members, honorable members, honorable members.
So this is what Murtala said. Now, Murtala Mohammed or NDC, you know, when he was speaking, did he say his own words? He quoted. On some people before Jimmy. And that quote he made. Sanka MP before the Munyansa no Munya Kronfo no Munim say JB Danquah a political Judas. What they should have done was that they should have gone back and check baby Okoti Assembly free. No more question source. No, the source is who you are supposed to question in Chabua. Murtala Ekoti source. So Murtala, in his speech, he did not say JB Danquah is a traitor. He said the source, that is history, the source that has been printed. You can go and check from this source, and that you will see that JB Danquah was a political Judas. Into Murtala Mohammed Bonebe na waye kwasiafo. Party amote ye Jimmy atro. Mote party said ye mote akonya. Into omuntiasie. So in Parliament today, we cannot cite our references and sources. Also, Jimmy, the moment you start to mention JB Danquah is a CIA agent, and now your informant, they start to get jittery because party ni buy no, a conconsa for party, a Judas-like party. This guy is a traitor. All his actions when Kwame Nkrumah was president was treasonous. Opie North Korea and Kebe charity. Aman Kwaladi Abobo ewa Shangara Park so obuasi. Yes. Adia JB Danquah ye no. Sanka North Korea no war, Sanka China no war, Sanka Soviet Union any of them. Anke betchine de na gina eye kejeteni ye charity. Ye charity we are near the shop politics by ni achichire. Near the bobo. But because some people don't want those histories to be they don't want us to people to be reminded about those stories. Hey, me can be bia wa ha o. Asem ya meka no ha bia met site baby e free buy. Send e be ya sa wo ntokwa na one baby a source no baby e free buy na one source na kokko. Na me ekọ me kire baby a source no wo. Political Judas. Iti what say MPP for kasa and ye petumi oh JB Danquah ne wo fa se Akufo-Addo ebe so tumi mu won kwasa de ode ye yes because adwene da papa we trimu no enu bi na de Akufo-Addo any MPP for trimu a whole political party they murdered JB Danquah edu ebe sin de obi anka ho asem nwan mafa bas free mukurom se montia se a political Judas yeni yema mo answers mo pe answers. Na JB Danquah edu de mompe answers wono ho. Na se court wo ho. Na ade ntina man call file case no court. Na court osono maame mo endi mu asema mamo emmoa koto de ne bo gwe. Koto bo gwe. JB Danquah is a political traitor. He's a political Judas. And that is what the history says. Go on Google right now and Google who is JB Danquah. It will tell you that JB Danquah is an informant to the to the CIA. It is clear. Declassified. Google right now and come back to me. Who is JB Danquah? I am not saying it. The stories are there. The people put it out there. And we are telling Ghanaians, saying that into a problem, go to the source, not me. I am not the source. And I'm a creative story, no. The facts are there. So follow the facts and go follow the source and go question the source. Google who is JB Danquah right now. It will tell you that JB Danquah was an informant to CIA. Ne juma no. I know did no. You was scaring you a snitch job. Moment to aso. Enti sanko for we ebe saade and I'm catch the mitimika say Kevin or boss. We have to actually spend time and explain a few things to Ghanaians because history there and we didn't write the history. Your history accredited history ubetuma verify. In fact, there are a lot of them cry omo stories any fact they are there. You can approach, you can question, you can even sue. So be try there for JB Danquah ho now site say me na me troye medini ahana metia. You have the right to sue the person. Dirty people bibia nyamo may question mo da. But you have all the right on this planet to question people. We are questioning history. We are questioning things. So if you think the question is no winning Jehua, go and follow a source na e this side and buy and no question source no. Arrogant people. Inti yedi Independence Day we and the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama can say me or say US documents show CIA orchestrated Kwame Nkrumah's overthrow. And Oko read documents na declassified. It is in there. Say JB Danquah Oyekufuado Wofa. He was the agent the CIA used then to overthrow Kwame Nkrumah. And no. What's the big deal here? Mr. S, Mr. P. Okay. I get it. Did you all right, Mr. S, I get it. Inti mema obi anye dede biso ya bema ka ke. Now let's go into the story. You must say JB Danquah. Then a chair said na a CIA agent. Omo trust story now, omo declassified story no. Omo tweet the story now to abontene e ma wiase nyina hu. Do not question me. You need to question the source. Source ne boa me boa. So you need to do that work. I don't have to do that work. In the John Mahama Car say they have declassified some documents. You know, you are supposed to question documents now. You declassify US for declassify. No, you are not supposed to question John Mahama. John Mahama the way or your president, and he has been previewed to declassify documents. Into ono Bonnie Ben why Ghana near Obusa sa question say who is JB Danquah? Bonnie Ben Ghana ni na ye mo boda mo hu. Is that all right? Thank you, Mr. S. Now, my mention, my dear. You see this man. His name is Richard Mahoney. Richard Mahoney. Oda hontiasi. Nane papa ene ye ambassador US for the base Ombra Ghana. Ne papa nana eye the ambassador. The US ambassador to Ghana. Inti time and papa ambassador and papa kept a lot of classified information. And nobody till date Abba Bontina Beka say papa we are already 73 years. The book I watch American government a certifier man is obetuma tono. Nobody can come out and say that the man has lied. Nobody. Because when you write a book in the United States, everything you put in there, it should be certified. You should make sure, especially when it's a political book, it needs to go through the right channels before the book is cleared to be sold. Now, this man is called Richard Mahoney. Ne papa na eye the US ambassador to Ghana. Time na Kwame Nkrumah eye president at JB Danquah na oye jumama CIA. Now, this man is 73 years old now. He is a senator, Arizona State University, and Okoye. Richard D. Mahoney is an American politician and academic. He was the Secretary of State of Arizona from 1991 until 1995. He has been the director of the School of Public and Plenty. He is still alive. You can contact him. You can email this man. Now, this man has written a book. And in the book, which the American government and American people, we have read, and the world around, politicians all over the place, nobody has contested whatever he has put out there because he had first-hand information from his father. Enti Saosha, the book, edin the JFK, or Deal in Africa, Richard D. Mahoney. This is the book. You can go on Google and buy it. The details are there. And this is just one part of the evidence that shows to say JB Danquah. Now the Danquah kufuada no wafa. Any JB Danquah na omuti MPP no. He is a CIA. He used to work for the CIA as an informant or a political Judas. Unma go jebe nya abotre dwudwom. Me pese kom trim. Omu yeman kama pon hwe. So, this is what this man, who is called Richard Mahoney, extra in the book. Let's take our time and read what is in the book. And then you will know exactly what JB Danquah, and it is on record. If you have any questions, you can email this man, question this man, and then email the US authorities. They will give you the documents. Now, let's take our time and read some part of his book. 2 pages B, because I heard of concentrating power with JB Danquah. So, yes. Now, when you take his book, this is another book that you can go look for. And also, another book, Yatra, JB Danquah, a woman, and no, Sa Edino, and Mutala Muhammad, estate Martin Meredith, the State of Africa. And also Sabu a woman say JB Danquah, not or a CIA agent or a Juma, nor a political Judas. The evidence are there plenty. Into Google to book no kind. This book too was written by Martin Meredith. On also so the history of the continent since independence. On also throw book and showed clearly say JB Danquah Yejuma as an informant against the Kwame Nkrumah. Uja kwa. Di matem kwa. Enyame na mchiro book no. Me chira the whole books nim. Today we are going to concentrate on this book, which is by Richard D. Mahoney, or Deal in Africa. JFK, Satana JFK, the president of America, Kennedy. Now, yanko Mahoney book nim. Niyan check some part of the book in Sama Okan Yankasa. JB Danquah. The man is still alive. He's here. He is not somebody you can email him, question him, ask for his source. Non-show. Because ne papa na ambassador no. Go to Amazon and buy the book and read. Now let's read the book. The words are quite small. I will do my best to read it. Now go page 184 in that book. Mahoney Troya, page 184. JFK or Deal in Africa. Macho book no, and I make sure page na me be read if you know. Send a you will understand. Mr. S, this is the right place to start it from, right? All right. Now I'm going to show you where we are going to start this whole thing from. When I see how baby a red line at no, a honor or started detailing JB Danquah, the political Judas, the information onim from ne papa ankasa, and he's previewed to the document. Go and buy the book. Now already Osha Asiona the red line at now. Let's start from there. Me read because Swami for Shemi. Bantama for Shemi. Kwabre. asankregwa obuasi amanchem eyem patase miami kroma yedo nipa bebre wo Ghana hwe enti ekan na ebetumi ani adwudwam because we are speaking about the political Judas of Ghana, JB Danquah. Okay, my team is telling me to start from the other side. Mrs. Okay, my team is saying I should start from this part. Now, I'm going to enlarge it. Yes, start here free the part where it says the embassy. I want to enlarge it. Send a obia behu de making. No being kasa Kevin edidian ebiaka ho. This is in the book. It is on Amazon. You can get some to buy. Now, me reading free the embassy. The embassy in Accra saw no basis for operational activity and recommended that, and I quote, we maintain our presence on a business as usual basis, end of quote. Ambassador Mahoney was soon to find out, however, what careerists normally prefer to ignore by instinct and what political appointees usually fail to grasp through innocence, that an ambassador is seldom and master of his own house. So this part of the book, you know, na Mahoney catch say ne papa time I appointing say onya den ombra Ghana na ombe ambassador by JFK Kaso Ombrano. Na ne papa a politician who basically did not know say there were a lot of things that comes together for an ambassador to have his grounds and to understand what is actually happening. Osini papa bedru ya no and oti ase say so ujina bontini asibia uhunu no ente say utinem ene ne kan say wonsasima yendi njaw. Ne papa eye Mahoney. This is the time Mahoney no nie. Mahoney meets with the US ambassador to Ghana, William P. Mahoney Jr., 11:13 a.m. President John F. Kennedy in rocking chair meets with U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, William P. Mahoney Jr. The ambassador met with President Kennedy before departing for his post, Oval Office, White House, Washington, D.C. It's before Mahoney, every D.C., no, he met the president who said, go to Ghana and be the ambassador. This is the picture they took before Mahoney left United States. Enti Mahoney no chro book ne papa nie on ne JF Kennedy ne te wono on ne te eye akonwa white nim no enti osia the president ansa na ofri DC aba Ghana abaye ambassador enti evidence no ho wa kire mo sa ne papa ene baaye na momienko ne papa baaye no de esiye na o check story na who read the first time now? Oba see ona baby at the red line as starting no yen kan free ho. This is what you see. Red line is starting. Say the matter concerned Dr. J.B. Danquah, Nkrumah's opponent in the presidential elections of 1960, who had been released from prison a few months after Mahoney's arrival as ambassador. Danquah paid a visit one November day to the embassy to ask Mahoney why the funds his family had been receiving during his imprisonment had been cut off after his release. Time Mahoney bedru Ghana or take position as the ambassador. Or one day JB Danquah November mu eba no ho ebe ka kire ne say na me da prison na me free prison by no ma be hu say eye pay na yetua me wo American government no etua me ne mebusua no pay na mo de ma me all the time na me she prison me pay no ma be hu say pay no emma biem adentra into JB Danquah the political Judas no he confronted Mahoney the ambassador then ekon ho ka kire ne say Mr. Ambassador hey many of them JB Danquah no me na me contest Kwame Nkrumah in the 1960 elections, I was jailed because of the things I did. Now, in jail, I was expecting the United States government through the embassy to be paying my wife, my kids, and myself. So I was expecting my accounts to be full. So I'm reading I'll say the matter concerned Dr. J.B. Danquah, Nkrumah's opponent in the presidential election of 1960, who had been released from prison a few months after Mahoney's arrival as ambassador. Danquah paid a visit one November day to the embassy to ask Mahoney why the funds his family had been receiving during his imprisonment had been cut off after his release. Or say, I didn't know free prison by Sikana ye tiano, monthly salary or daso, Adanoma Kati Sikana Sikanim Babium. The question is, Ejuma Ben and JB Danquah Eyama, the US embassy or the US government, why also ambassador no con say, why are you not paying me? That is a question for the gods. That is a question for the gods. Into Obi Obu say, when DNA Juma na JB Danquah yama American embassy. E DNA no yama America for or that prison no o pie ba no or ne ambassador no problem say adana muntu ya misika mamia wakati. That means the JB Danquah we know was working for the Americans. What work was he doing? Because you as a Ghanaian, you cannot just get up one day and say, Maba US Embassy, pay me. No, it doesn't work like that. You should have done some work for the US Embassy before they will pay you. So the question is, Ejuma Ben and JB Danquah eyema eye US for no in 1960. 61, 62, 60, or even before 1960. Because from the way he's talking, he was being paid before 1961, 62. That means he was working for the Americans or the CIA for a long time before even 1960, 61, 62. Now, may I kind the other part of the book, now, you're reading free a kakra, baby a red line one. I wanna ink in the womb. Now, JB Danquah approach Mahoney. Na Mahoney wapo kakra na ene wanwa. Edien NSC ye yenjudwem. Mahoney ban book na make no enya me. So you cannot say Kevin Taylor. Oh, question akọ Mahoney ban ho. Ono na wote ase kobusa no. Ye chiro book no America ha. Senka de ochro no bo anka America for man publish it. It is our problem akọ Mahoney ho. Ne kobusa no. Now, who read page 185 or say, this was the first time that Mahoney had heard of the arrangement. Or say, this was the first time na Ambassador Mahoney, what to say? Yetia Obika, the US government, Etia Ghana Nibika, a politician in Ghana or contested to be president. This was the first time a politician from America, what to say, how can somebody say Baumia contesting on the flag of the MPP being paid by the US government through the embassy? The ambassador was shocked. I say, this is the first time I am hearing something like that. As an ambassador, I didn't even meet anything like that. And I be say koso because the name Mahoney, one say, how can a presidential candidate who wants to be the president of a country, how can he be working for a foreign country? Taking salary, the same time wanting to be president. That was his shock. So Judas wanted his money. Now, Uridia or say. So what did the ambassador do? After Danquah left, so after JB Danquah a free ni fee or no, and a free embassy or this is what Ambassador Mahoney did. After Danquah left, he summoned the CIA chief of station to ask why he had not been advised of the agency's association with Danquah. Into Danquah, ekeka ninsem we na ofree embassy wono. And na Mahoney or ya ambassador na efre embassy wono almost CIA desk or department in charge CIA for and ofre station boss no say a day na ekoso a minimum hwe no. Intina yetua JB Danquah kwa eka sika and me as a new ambassador I have no knowledge about. So the guy as the ambassador no of office of CIA agent na omo desk or station desk officer bra Man we about a friend JB Danquah or contest Kwame Nkrumah so be so the president. Betiano aba beka chem say ni pay akem. JB pa. JB pa. Inti ya wasika ni papa no wasika no. Sana upe akem. Ena Mahoney busa CIA agent say papa no ba o say friend JB Danquah mu nyina mu nim no. On na o contest Kwame Nkrumah 1960. No person o Ghana president no. Wa ba beka chem say or the payroll so adentina okoda prison obaya ni sika na o se tua ne yentua no nti mo amoye CIA fo a me beto mo officer no mo ma me answers na Mahoney are confused. How can a presidential candidate be taking salary from a foreign government for embassy? How? Intina Mahoney na adwuma ne sekrene na yanko story ni so bi oni ahwe de Mahoney ye. Now, this is what happened, or this is what followed. Now, I'll say this, okay, I'll say, my man started to be a rain fee. I'll say, he summoned the CIA chief of station to ask why he had not been advised of the agency's association with Danquah. Dissatisfied with the explanation, Mahoney flew to Washington, D.C., 2 days later and personally informed President Kennedy about the matter. Inti Mahoney no ya ambassador no ebusa CIA for no mutumi ma answer papa bia. Omo toto papa so. They could not give a direct answer because omo ni say ade na esi. Na Mahoney onte ne ho ase. And I say then I am flying to Washington DC. I want to come and meet the president and tell him about this because I don't know what is going on. Mahamudu Bawumia say US embassy in Tianika. How? JB Danquah political leader of an opposition party say the kind of salary my. So Mahoney was confused. He was worried. Obusa CIA desk this one what embassy one. Almost end to me share a man straight answer. I said BB Koso. And Mahoney say, oh no, the politics any smart president Tasmano, he doesn't want to offend anybody. So he's going to go back to his appointer. He's going to go back to his boss to question the boss to say, what is actually going on for a presidential candidate to come to my office demanding for salary? Now, you should see a time or call a year Washington, D.C., Okushia president. Now, the president, we do Washington, D.C., now, Wakobusa president, Adentina JB Danquah say in Tianika. This is what transpired between Mahoney and the president. The president reacted sharply to the news and told Mahoney that he had sent a letter to all ambassadors in May 1961, making it clear that their authority extended to all phases of embassy decision making. Kennedy, that is the president, authority Kennedy, then telephoned CIA director John McCone and told him that he was sending Mahoney over to CIA headquarters and wanted the matter resolved immediately. And President Kennedy captured Mahoney said, Mahoney, I have given instructions. And the instructions I have given, it applies to every embassy around the world, especially in Africa, that some decisions have been taken and that some actions are not supposed to be taken. Until the president told Mahoney, I am sending you to the CIA boss. The president could have sent him to the Senate boss. He could have sent him to the Agric boss. He could have sent him to the education boss. But the president said, I am sending you to McCone, who is the director of the CIA. Come McCone ho. Now McCone in church bibi munchiraw. Into read here, this is what he said. The president, Kennedy, then telephoned CIA director John McCone and told him that he was sending Mahoney over to CIA headquarters and wanted the matter resolved. Into a Fred McCone or phone so. And I'll say, I am sending Mahoney to you, making sure that we must solve a problem. No? So the president acknowledged that there was a problem. What the American say? Mahoney called DC, echo the boss, or catch the boss say a presidential candidate in Ghana is demanding salary. Why is he demanding salary? And the president said, my instructions say, Bibi na Bibi koso, na sa Bibi no yen CZ. Owie Loka say, go to the CIA director Macron. Now, I'm making sure says our problem way it has been resolved. Meaning the president knew was our mad directive be say Bibi way esuncha. So there was a problem. So Mahoney was so green. He didn't know that JB Danquah was a senior staff member of the CIA desk. Ewakra. Mahoney did not know. He didn't even have an idea. He's green. It's what happened. Mahoney had to go to the director of CIA, Mr. McCone. Now let's go back and see what happened after that. Team, stay with me. Now, this is what happened. Into McCone, air director, and an or train Mahoney, and a Mahoney, Ekohu McCone. Now, this is what happened. The understanding that emerged from the meeting at Langley was that, Yakasa Langley, a Honana CIA director, no office, no Sanya Freho, Langley. I want to see omo headquarters no. Into what trying to say the understanding that emerged from the meeting at Langley was that, and I quote, no undertaking of any kind, even remotely involving our situation in Ghana, would either be continued or launched without the ambassador's knowledge and approval. End of quote. Inti Mahoney call Macron one oka say, or no, or director of CIA no, or ma instructions say. All the embassies in Africa, Obieniwa obetime take a decision in the name of the CIA without his directions. Meaning, he's acknowledging, say yentia obika ewo Ghana as an informant. He has given instructions that that person should not be paid. He has given instructions that whoever is making noise, the decision has come from the headquarters that all their embassies, whoever was working with their embassy, including the one in Ghana, Mahoney, follow no. Nobody, you can say, nobody is supposed to be paid. It affects JB Danquah too. Now, Yanko Nyanghe twaso. Now, it appeared, however, that the damage had already been done. A siege mentality had taken hold in Flagstaff House. More than 500 persons, more than 500 persons were being held in detention as the police continued to search for the terrorist group. Now, Eba Sano, now Kwame Nkrumah are worried because they wanted to kill him. Now, he had seen the bomb threat on his life. Kwame Nkrumah got worried. He knew there were some people in this country who were working with some foreign nationals or foreign agencies that wanted to take him out. Kwame Nkrumah activated a vigilance. About 500 people who felt they were part of that idea to eliminate Kwame Nkrumah, no, they had fled Ghana. Do you understand? It is a siege, you know. That siege mentality, you know, it was because Kwame Nkrumah, they had threatened his life so many times. At some point, you know, Kwame Nkrumah did not know what to do. He had to take action because he realized, he said, there were some people in this country, Omo Ayomajuni said, they wanted to take him out. They tried to eliminate Kwame Nkrumah, bomb, poison, so many times. So that was when Kwame Nkrumah also activated defense mechanism. Some of the mechanisms that Kwame Nkrumah implemented, and they say some foreign consulates, you know, or closing. What he did was, Nkrumah viewed foreign consulates and beyond Accra, any some foreign consulates na any Accra, Ebiwo Togo, Benin, the neighboring countries, you know, he saw them say those people who were trying to take his life, you know, that were the places they were harboring. So Nkrumah became very vigilant. Nkrumah started also activating the senses to make sure he protects himself and protects his nation. Now, already documented. Let's move forward. More than 500 persons were being held in detention as the police continued to search for the terrorist group. The government ordered all foreign consulates outside Accra to be closed immediately. The embassy reported that Nkrumah was now pathologically obsessed. The embassy reported that Nkrumah was now pathologically obsessed with the CIA and was passing out copies of Andrew Tully's expose, CIA, the inside story, on an indiscriminate basis. So it got to that point whereby Kwame Nkrumah became pissed off. He became paranoid because so many times they had tried to kill him. He was like, what the hell is going on around here? So what happened was that he became very suspicious, and the CIA became his focal point because he realized that the CIA had a lot of resource, and whatever was happening, the gadget and the kind of intelligence that some people were having in the country, it was geared towards him. No, he noticed that he was believing that the CIA had something to do with it, but he knew the CIA was not doing it directly. They were using some people in the country. This is in the book. I did not say this. If you want to challenge the book and challenge the writer. Now, so what did Kwame Nkrumah do? I'm sorry, let me open it up. Now let's move forward. On December 7th, Ghana openly threatened Togo, warning that if the Togolese government did not repatriate Ghanaian descendants, and I quote, the government of Ghana will have no alternative but to institute such measures as may be found necessary to protect the safety and security of the state of Ghana and its citizens, end of quote. Into Kwame Nkrumah actually sent a message to Togo. And I catch a Togolese government and they say, Ghana for mu nyine dwane abetete Togo. Satana gbede ma mu tete Togo. Buzia mo edwane efri Ghana. And omako tete Togo. And na omo ed den eye ejuma inside Ghana to make sure he's overthrown, to make sure he's killed. Inti Kwame Nkrumah so intelligence and say all these people who were doing these things were hiding around Ghana, our neighboring countries, especially Togo, because Togo is the closest. So he issued a warning. Say, Mama Sanko foro mo mukuro di nyina nsambra fie. If you say from Kwame Nkrumah's intelligence, he got to know, say, JB Danquah in the group, Buzia, Bedema, JB Danquah himself, any colleagues now free Ghana, and na Koshi Togo, any other neighboring countries, and they were serving the CIA. What happened? My main kind is a CN. Now, news of worsening relations with Ghana moved Senator Dodd to launch a Senate subcommittee investigations to determine whether U.S. money was aiding another communist state. Professor Kofi Buzia, recently of Lome and other exile stating grounds, provided the testimony Dodd needed. And I quote, Ghana is the center of subversive communist activities in Western Africa, end of quote. What happened was that there was this senator in the U.S. Congress, and your friend Senator Dodd. Now, Senator Dodd, eti nsem bi won fremem. Na nsem na oti free Buzia ano. Satana Buzia eshe Lome, Togo. And na Buzia church script and all granting interviews. Now Buzia and someone all can say, Nipebu or Ghana and the United States of America, Eddie Omusika Emma Omo to fight the Ghana government and making sure say sorry, Nipebu Oha, Omo Ghana, US Fosika and Omudi Ebu Ghana for Faso. Inti or directly US Fosa Kwame Nkrumah and Nipabonini. Sika bi free US eba Ghana no. They say our daddy no dictator. And as Sebio, all this Sikano ebun come call for democracy so. In the Senate and the TSR and I say and obey investigations into the matter. Because you see, they created an impression, say Kwame Nkrumah is a dictator. And Omukotna Togo, Ebikotna Benin. And what they were doing was that they were giving false information to the Americans and other Europeans who were supporting Ghana and creating the impression, say, Kwame Nkrumah or a communist, Kwame Nkrumah or a dictator, Kwame Nkrumah is not allowing Ghanaians to be who they are. He is not allowing democracy to thrive. These are the same people who tried to bomb Kwame Nkrumah, to kill Kwame Nkrumah after they were exposed, you know. The neighboring countries. Buzia was part. JB Danquah was in jail. Bedema too was in Togo, and that was the agenda to destroy Kwame Nkrumah. And this was a plan. JB Danquah and MPP for no, they cooked. So all this while, JB Danquah was on the payroll of the CIA. Per the book, not me. If you want to challenge Mahoney. If you want to challenge what I'm saying, don't challenge me. You have to challenge who? Challenge Mahoney. Because or no, ne papa and an ambassador, he was there. Ne papa handed over the files to him and said, this is the truth. And or the actual book. Or not just a mere American walking on the street. Oh. He's a congressman. He is not a Bayira Yadjie. He's a big man in America. So you can question him. Now, young Queen, I didn't see it. When you go down, this is what happened. Then you now book him, go on Amazon, you can buy it. Now, so already the other side of the story, this is what he says. Mahoney appealed to Washington to stall the appearance of the Dodd report, but this, of course, was not possible. Nkrumah found Dodd's wide-ranging accusation galling in the extreme, and the fact that the senator was a senior member of the president's own party was not lost on the Ghanaians. End of quote. Nkrumah then called for the expulsion of all Peace Corps volunteers on the grounds that they were, according to the party press, and I quote, subversive agents, end of quote, employed by the CIA. There was no doubt that if the US were forced to pull its Peace Corps contingent out of Ghana, it would also withdraw from the Volta project. 1/3 of Ghana's secondary schools, blah, blah, blah. So this is what happened. And yet the ambassador not to Ghana, no, he had first-hand information of what was happening in Ghana. He knew that the information that was put out there against Kwame Nkrumah by Buzia, Ewo Togo, Bedema, who switched. Bedema was Kwame Nkrumah's very good friend. He switched to become part of them. That information that Buzia was throwing from Togo, from Lome, to make Kwame Nkrumah look bad, because Buzia knew that JB Danquah was working inside Ghana for the CIA as an informant. It's Buzia, all that he had to do was to tell the Americans in the US that the Kwame Nkrumah administration, this is what they are using your money for. They are using the money to suppress the people. Not knowing the same time, JB Danquah was there trying to manipulate the system to kill Kwame Nkrumah. Now, when that happened, the ambassador who is in charge of the embassy and has first-class information, he tried to stop the senator's report because he knows the truth. He lived with Ghanaians. He knew the political terrain. He knew JB Danquah was a liar. He knew JB Danquah used to work for the CIA, because that time an AHR reported that JB Danquah had been fired. Now the pay has been blocked. Until Mahoney knew that JB Danquah used to be an ex-worker for the CIA. He knew JB Danquah's colleague in his party was who? Was Buzia. He knew that Buzia and JB Danquah are colleagues, they are friends. And what they were doing was to destabilize Ghana. Until the ambassador, now a friend of Mahoney, he tried to stop that investigations because he knew the basis of the investigations was wrong. And that whatever information they were getting from Buzia, Bedemamono, to be investigated in Washington, it was totally from what was happening on the ground. But the situation was that the man who initiated the investigations in Washington, he was the president's friend. And the ambassador is just an ambassador. He could not stop it. So that investigations went and landed on the desk of the president. So what Buzia, JB Danquah, the NPP wanted, had happened, because they wanted the Americans to see Kwame Nkrumah's regime as a terrorist or a tyrant regime. Now they have been able to create that impression and created it in a form of a document on the desk of Kennedy that Kwame Nkrumah is a communist and that Kwame Nkrumah is in Ghana killing people, suppressing people, chasing people out of the country. But every single person, JB Danquah, Buzia, Bedema, who left the country, they left because after they tried to assassinate Kwame Nkrumah, it backfired and they all ran for their lives. That was why they were all out of the country, living in our neighboring countries. So Kwame Nkrumah did not push them out. They ran away because of their deeds. JB Danquah, who was caught, was jailed. JB Danquah came out asking for his salary from the US government. That is how we got to know JB Danquah. This guy is a political Judas. Do you understand the picture? So because you say JB Danquah, Onye Judas, JB Danquah is a traitor. Obiwo, another information on Fambra. This man is a dangerous man. Nasif when you know me dangerous. He's a terrorist. JB Danquah. So their guilt, team, are we good? Their guilt made them run away from Ghana. And you know the funny thing? I am very sure that whoever contracted JB Danquah and his likes to work for the CIA did not even tell Washington. So JB Danquah was being paid under the table. That is why Tama Mahoney the CIA agents, they could not officially tell Mahoney, say, JB Danquah is our agent, because they knew that Washington wasn't going to be happy about it. At least on paper, Washington wasn't involved. Anything at time man no echo DC any Kennedy Kokasa Kennedy can say he had already issued a statement that nobody from a country can work for the US government. That means maybe Washington had realized that some people were collaborating with some people underground to work against their own country. And they knew JB Danquah was somebody who was working for them. Because JB Danquah, a day and a man to me money pay free prison, Mahoney say, what a meka, or some salary, mano. Mahoney on fire with Juma, a Ghanaian presidential candidate, insisting on his salary from a foreign country's embassy. It means you're a snitch. You are a terrorist. You are a political Judas. You are an informant. This man's a wicked man. So what led to Buzia's running away from Ghana? What led to Bedema running from Ghana? Then a man, nipa be 500, omudani free Ghana. Time Kwame Nkrumah activate the census, the defense census, it was the bombing. They tried to bomb Kwame Nkrumah. They were the people behind the bombing. Into we study, when you read the story, these are the facts. Nkrumah was coming from a meeting with President Maurice Yamiogo in Tenkodogo, Burkina Faso. Tenkodogo, Burkina Faso. At the time known as Upper Volta. The meeting was to sign documents relating to the construction of a major hydroelectric project on the Volta, which would become Lake Volta. Now, during the trip back to Ghana, heavy rains caused difficulties for the convoy on the country's bad roads. The presidential convoy stopped at an outskirts of Boko to greet school children who had been waving and catching glimpses of the president. Where Kwame Nkrumah time oko Burkina and oko sign a black voter contract deal be to build a black voter on the president of Burkina. All banana in suyato. Intina kwema basa and I'll say no obejina eye dien obejina Boko na school fwa omo dona omo jejina hwan ho wakosra obo kakra. It was all a plan against Kwame Nkrumah. Now, to greet school children who had been waving and catching glimpses of the president, a school child, Elizabeth Asantua, approached the president with a bouquet of flowers, was severely injured when the bomb exploded. Kwame Nkrumah Boko, akwarana na okuta flowers no na your friend Elizabeth Asantua. na me expect say sa akwara na ye de flower be ma no ye be frɛ no e de Mamunatu Mahama ana Aisha tu e de Tahiru. But shockingly enough, Bokuna odru ye no yenya santini akwara a santini awo no a santini dinda no so and or the flowers ne koma Kwame Nkrumah say, oh, Mr. President, and ye o flower nie yenya Elizabeth Asantwa Asantini Mapamba. How did that happen? Somebody had to bring that child. Somebody had to carry that child from somewhere to come and execute that job. The bomb exploded. The president was saved by his bodyguard, Captain Samuel Buckman, who instinctively wrestled the president to the ground after hearing the tickling on the timing device. The president and Buckman experienced non-life-threatening injuries, but 55 other people were injured. In Thomas Shipi Akwara, your friend Elizabeth Asantwa, and the say Asantwa, into Nipano, Akwara, and Nani Papa Beye, Sebio Akani, and they didn't call Boko. Because we had planned everything. Whether it rained or it didn't rain, Kwame Nkrumah was supposed to stop at Boko. Because there were people in Kwame Nkrumah's intelligence, they knew what they were doing. In Tomudru Hono, na school for no hodada. Yes, Mr. President, whether rain or shine, you need to say hello to the children. And who Elizabeth Asantwa. Elizabeth Asantwa Onyini wo Boko, 1960. Elizabeth Asantwa Onyini wo Boko 1960 1961 na Elizabeth Asantwa be na te Boko why na oye Elizabeth Asantwa papa na o te Boko ye betam Elizabeth Asantwa free eye akani fie ne de ne koye se we ye ba ye nim de betuma ka kire ne ma na ye oye se ye di agro ha inti akora ne de bomb ne ma Kwame Nkrumah in the form say flowers kata ho no. And now Kwame Nkrumah bodyguard ne take ke omo de watch ashem a every the time no ene na ebema bomb na to enti Kwame Nkrumah bodyguard Buckman eti bomb no ena obushi bomb no ena de Kwame Nkrumah to form or da Kwame Nkrumah so ne su yetidim nipa 55 ebi nsate ebi komotwa ebi enie tu Kwame Nkrumah ne bodyguard da form almost epira kakra. This is the Ghana under JB Danquah Buzia. Ayana mo MPP for me refim ho. Ayana mo gin say ye Jimmy to the point to say yen kai mo party no baby amu free ba. And today they are planning to do that to John Mahama. That is them MPP for no. Omo space they will do it. They will kill Mahama. That is the party. That is how the party was built. There's nothing new here. This is the MPP na make sure no this is it is. So when after the bomb came off, Doctor or treaty Kwame Nkrumah, not a British doctor, bomb no a Kwame Nkrumah top form no nails in that one shim pallet near the ebeshe Kwame Nkrumah body nim beche ema broni doctor en nya botre yiyi ni nyina every Kwame Nkrumah wedie mu Elizabeth Asantwa e de bomb ni she ni nsem akwara ketekete dio no nim. What does the kid know? At that point akwara or done the president, but the people who gave birth to these kids, they had an agenda. Because the agenda was that for bomb ne komano ne free ho na Kwame Nkrumah wu. This was JB Danquah MPP and Yomotene. They are very dirty people, dangerous people. And anytime I say don't underestimate the NPP. 42 years in opposition is a must. The little girl knew nothing about this. And the MPP set a young kid up. Now, what if Kwame Nkrumah did flower no tama akurano say oni akurani twa picture? In thinka that little girl would die with the bomb. I didn't want Jimmy sa MPP. In thinka Kwame Nkrumah did bomb no or did flowers no. And I can say akura with and we am fe. My men for akura we na me twa picture. And na Kwame Nkrumah tama akura we share no book. And a bomb ni explode ya. Anka a young child MPP for ekuna twachene in the name say we want power. Recently, now I think it's Elizabeth Asantwa. She granted interviews. How she saved Kwame Nkrumah, the little child, under stress, akwara kitikiti, only 8 years. You use that little child. This is Elizabeth Asantewaa, Osu, and can people for kuna twachne.
What I just saw was boom. It lifted me up and brought me back onto the ground. It was a big blast. All I saw was my leg burning.
She was too young at the time to understand what happened to her. As time went on, she grew to understand her situation. Her leg then started decaying. Elizabeth Asantewaa's leg was amputated to prevent the spread of the impact of the bomb explosion so she can continue to live. Her disfigured supporting leg is decaying by the day. She usually walks with the support of crutches.
I feel general weakness. I need constant massage. I often feel dizzy. It's tough for me.
Today, the case is different. Her condition worsens daily due to lack of medical care. For Elizabeth, if her pain does not kill her, hunger might.
Sometimes, when I don't have money, I only drink water and sleep.
If only Elizabeth, her parents, or whoever nominated her for that glorious moment to present a bouquet to Osagyefo had known the aftermath, they would have turned down the opportunity. The bomb exploded with her dreams. Elizabeth tells me Dr. Kwame Nkrumah promised her niece will be provided for by the government. This support ended with his overthrow. Elizabeth has some hope, but that keeps fading with each passing day as she grapples with the reality of her decaying leg and the help that may never come.
I'm pleading with the president. He knows my story. I'm appealing to him and all Ghanaians to help me.
Said then I will.